Don't be a fragile cuck, bro. I know you're on this path of discipline and personal development, but don't let the over-analyzing optimal nerds steer you away from being anti-fragile. You see, I, just like you, am an overthinking, overcomplicating autist, and I love a good routine that is scientifically optimized. But here's the problem. What happens when life throws a little curveball at you and your optimized routine goes down the shitter? What do you do then, huh? How adaptable are you to the situation? Or will one little change throw your entire day apart and throw you back into a rut because you're still a fragile little cuck? I will say that I do believe having a routine that you can fall back on, a process that you can repeat day after day after day, is probably the best way to live, in my opinion. It's the fastest way to make progress, but what happens when you're in a season of life where that's just not possible? Where you're working jobs because you haven't escaped the matrix yet, you're not yet entirely a master of your schedule. Well, learn to be anti-fragile, adapt, make space in your routine to switch things up as necessary and still tick off everything you need to do throughout the day. You might not have time for everything, but you must determine what the highest leverage tasks are and find a way to fit them in when your energy levels are high, when you feel in the zone, in the flow state. And let me tell you, this takes so much experimentation. I've been trying to figure this puzzle out for years, and it's becoming so much easier now that I'm taming my chaotic monkey mind and allowing simplicity to enter my life. I truly do believe that we should be building a life in which we can stick to a repeatable process day in, day out. But in the meantime, before we quite reach it, we must learn how to just click into a flow state on the fly, no matter what challenges or obstacles come in our way, no matter what curveballs the day throws at us, no matter if we have to change things around here and there. Because let me tell you, being anti-fragile feels freaking incredible. Being reliant on a routine makes you feel like a cuck. So today's going to be a little bit different. Starting with a morning shift because that's what will make the slave masters happy today. And for the time being, I have to play their game. But it won't be for long, I promise you that. However, I'm going to start the day with my chicken and quinoa bowl so that these complex carbs that are slow digesting can hit my bloodstream, and while I'm doing my morning work, everything will be clicking and ticking along inside the old digestive system so that by the time I get to the gym, this whole meal will be digested. Then, and only then, will I reach full glory of muscular development. So the food's been digested, I've done a morning job, now it's time to hit the gym. And I won't lie, my frequency was a little bit lower for this session. Everything just felt a little bit more slow and sluggish, partially because I did a morning job, but another reason is because during that morning job, I didn't keep a clear mind and I was listening to frickin' self-improvement podcasts. But anyway, what better way to raise the frequency than with some weighted pull-ups? Because yes, my coach gave me an early birthday present. He allowed me to make the switch from lat pull-downs to pull-ups on this first slot of my back and triceps day. And I won't lie, I'm quite disappointed by my strength performance here. I have 30 kilos, which I couldn't even manage a measly 7 reps for. I expected to fly around with this weight for at least 10 reps because of how low my new body weight is. But hey ho, that's the way she goes sometimes. And like I keep saying over and over again, when you can't raise the ceiling, raise the floor. I decide to do this by stripping back the weight to a measly 20 kilos and banging out my next couple sets with just some pristine form. But you already know what's next. We demolished the lats. It's time to cook the upper back with some pendlay rows. And I do these without letting the plates touch the floor. This very simple modification allows me to keep constant tension in the upper back while being able to only use a fraction of the weight that I normally could. And you're going to see that the lower back isn't looking too straight in this exercise. That's okay. I'm going to say it right here, right now, because it's such a baby weight, I'm not going to do any damage with this form. So once a couple sets of the pendlay row have been complete, we move on to triceps. What better exercise than a stable, grindable lift like this, where honestly, every single rep, you can feel like your triceps are about to tear off the bone. Let me tell you, the science nerds got it right with this one. And I absolutely love the combination of back and triceps because of flexing. They sort of feed into each other. And you can train them alternatively without losing any performance. And obviously, you already know what's coming. Next exercise is the cable row. And let me just say how disgustingly diced my back is looking. Those rear delts are popping. Everything is just looking surreal to me at this current stage. I never thought that my physique would be looking like this. I genuinely didn't think I had much muscle. The body dysmorphia 1, I thought that if I stripped down the body fat, I would just wither away. And to an extent, it's true, but you know, when you get a freaking good coach, it makes a world of difference. Here, the set is over. Now I'm just doing a little bit of Kelso shrugs to finish off the back. It's okay. You won't die from going just a little bit beyond failure every now and again. So now we have the goat of triceps, aka the skull crusher. And it's honestly up to you where you bring the bar down on this exercise. You can bring it all the way behind your head. You can bring it down to your chin. You can bring it down to your upper chest. Or you can bring it to your eyes, like I do. It's all preference, how your body feels comfortable, the length of your limbs, etc., etc. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. And as you can see, I'm hella red. And after those 3 sets are complete, it's time to hit the back one final time and just annihilate it to completion. And what better way than with the chest supported dumbbell row, which is everything that the first row wasn't. And to be honest with you, I much prefer this variation. Full confession, I don't intend to keep doing those pendlay rows once this phase is complete. I'm going to absolutely mash these. Because can you guess what's happening at the bottom of every rep? That's right, the deepest stretch you can experience. Look at how my upper back is curving. Lickety split, Bob's your uncle. It's time for the final exercise of the day. The one you always want to skip is the one that's most important not to. Not even because of muscle growth, but because of mindset development. Because when your workout is almost done and you really feel like going home, that last exercise is the one that actually challenges you. Because let's be honest, we love training at this point. We don't need motivation to freaking get to the gym, but we need discipline to finish the workout. And so I finish up with 4 sets of hanging leg raises with only a minute of rest in between. Just cooking my abs. Then once that's done, the real fun begins with another 35-minute incline walk on the treadmill. I don't believe it. A delicious baked brownie. Man, it genuinely feels as though every single thing in this house that I'm living in is designed to steal my progress and keep me mediocre. And I really don't want to be a negative Nancy because I love my family, but my goodness, just being surrounded by people who think the complete opposite way to you, it makes it for sure more difficult to excel, but that is no excuse. When you increase the resistance, you get more strong, right? So if I can thrive in this stagnant environment, just imagine what I'm going to be like when my business is booming and I can live on my own out in Thailand and just freaking nothing but growth, designing my environment perfectly to align with my goals. And if you, my brother, are also trapped in a similar situation where you want to move out, you can afford to move out, right? It's not like I'm completely destitute. I could definitely make enough money from this job to live on my own, but patience, brother. Our time is coming. We just have to hang tight in there, put in the work into the right vehicle, gain the right leverage, and then when we move out, it can be from a position of power. Because this situation right here, you can see it as a downside, but it also has massive advantages, right? When you don't have to pay your own rent, so much of your money can just be deployed against your goals. Hang tight in there, brother. Our time is coming. I had a little bit of a funk today. It all started in the morning where I wasn't able to do my routine and immediately head to the gym simply because I was called in to do a morning shift today, not a full-length day shift. Now, I was a little bit annoyed because number one, I make less money during the morning shift. Number two, I love to train first thing while I'm fresh. This frequency allows me to build momentum in the rest of my day. Nonetheless, I now feel incredible. As you can imagine, I don't know if you've felt the energy difference, but I've just done another breathwork session because I just can't get enough of getting high as a kite purely from the oxygen that is around in my environment. And speaking of getting high as a kite, this is the exact spot where I used to sit and smoke a joint, smoke out of my Yoda bong, sometimes while high on shrooms, high on acid. Sometimes I was literally such a sad, pathetic mess that I would get drunk alone, like just inside consuming while getting drunk. Come out here with a cigarette, you know what I mean? I used to sit on this exact same bench, getting high in the most degenerate way possible. Absolutely no concept of delayed gratification. Absolutely no concept of having big goals and striving towards them. Literally, my only goal was to become mediocre. I thought that the dream would be working a 9 to 5, getting a steady paycheck so that I'll can smoke weed after work and during the weekends. I thought that was the dream. My goodness, how times have changed. But anyway, this is just a little reflective moment where I used to sit here getting high using instant gratification. The high was fleeting. The high would be gone as it came. I would, get stoned, smoke some weed, and then go for a nice walk, thinking that I was doing something, thinking that because I wasn't sat at home playing video games, that I was somehow better than the other stoners because I was out just daydreaming, fantasizing about a potential future that would only come with effort that I wasn't willing to give at the moment. But now it just feels incredible how I can get high, way higher than I ever used to be able to, through sacrificial effort, through doing the things that take some intensity, some gusto, some kind of sacrifice. Because let me tell you, I always feel incredible after breath work, but I never sit down beforehand and I'm like, yes, let's do some breath work. There's always a little bit of resistance, just a little bit, like, oh, this again, oh, it's going to be a bit boring. No. As soon as I get into the rhythm of it, it couldn't be more enjoyable. But same with training, same with, recording these videos, same with doing deep work, writing, stuff that gets you into a flow state. And let me tell you, drugs get you into an artificial flow state. You know what? That's not even true. I don't know why I said that. I'm just in the flow of things so much that I don't mind rambling a little bit. But to protect you from my incoherent babbling, I'm just gonna cut it here. Another day, another beautiful opportunity for self-reflection, and this was just another proof that even if your frequency drops, even if you might get a bad start to the day, you can click your fingers and immediately snap back into flow state. I'll see you tomorrow.